So this is You're Gonna Go Far Kid by the Offspring. There's multiple different sections in it and we're going to start off with the intro. So for the intro we're going to be playing some power chords. So place your first finger on the 5th fret of the low E, then your little finger or your third finger in the 7th fret of the A. That produces your power chord shape, and we're going to hit this chord 2 times. It's very similar to the rhythm of Brain Stew by Green Day as well. And then we're going to move that shape all the way down to the 1st fret on the E and 3rd fret on the A. That is your F power chord. We're going to play it twice. And then we're going to move to our C power chord. So first finger on the 3rd fret of the A, little finger on the 5th fret of the D. Again, we're going to be playing this chord 2 times. And then to finish off this progression, we're just going to pop our fingers up a string. So we're now on the 3rd fret on the E and the 5th fret on the A, and we're going to play the chord twice. So all together. Fairly simple intro, and you essentially play that chord progression twice, and then it's going to head into the next part. This is where we're also playing power chords, but they're palm muted. We're going to go back to our A power chord on the 5th fret, and then we're going to play it 8 times with our palm mutes. And then this time we're actually going to move to the F power chord, but on the 8th fret A and the 10th fret on the D. Again, we're going to play it 8 times. And then we're going to move that down to our C power chord that we played in the intro. So now on the 3rd fret A with our power chord shape. We're going to play it 8 times. And then finally we're going to move up to our 3rd fret low E power chord. Again, we're going to play it 8 times. You can ease off on the palm muting here. So the second part of the verse sounds like this. So then it moves to a slightly trickier part, and you've got 2 options for this. We're going to move our first finger down to the 1st fret on the low E, and you can either play this 32 times, which is this speed, or you can just play it once. And then you're going to move to the 5th fret on the A. Again, your 2 choices. I'm just going to play it once. Okay, and then we're going to move to the 8th fret on the A. And then we're going to move to the 7th fret on the A. And there's a shorter gap between those 2 notes than the other ones. And then to finish it off, we've got this. And all this is our G power chord on our 3rd fret low E. We just stab it 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. So this verse part sounds like this all together if we're just playing it once on each note. So in terms of the gaps in between the notes, you have got 8 beats between each of the notes until we get to the very last note where there's only 4, and then it hits in with our chords. So it will sound like this with some counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over the top of those notes there is some lead guitar. So what we're playing here is the 7th fret D with our first finger, and then the 10th fret G with our little finger, 9th fret G with our 3rd finger, and then back to the 7th fret D with our first finger. So if I do that slowly. And then you play it once more. On the 3rd time round we play almost the same, but rather than go back to our 7th fret D, at the end of it we're going to go to the 10th fret D. So it will go 7, 10, 9, 10. And then to finish it off, we just land on the 9th fret G. And this is on the word of far. So the chorus is very similar to the second part of our verse where we were playing the palm muted chords. This time there's just no palm muting. Okay, so you'll be on your 5th fret low E chord, down to your F chord, down to your C chord, And then we're going to go up to our G chord, so the 3rd fret low E. We're going to play it 4 times. And then we've got this little technique. Okay, and once more. So what this is we're going down, up with our right hand palm muted. And then on the next down, we're not palm muting. So do it slowly. And we do this twice. So if I put that all together with the rest of the chorus, it will sound like this. So that is it, slowed down, particularly at the end. To the track tempo, it's this type of speed. And we essentially play this part twice, and then there's a little link between the chorus and the second verse, which sounds like this. So we're actually using the technique that we have just used on that 3rd fret low E power chord, but this time we're on the 7th fret of the A string, and we're going to go down, up, palm muted. And then we're going to use our little finger to go to the 10th fret on the A. So it'll be down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay? And you're essentially going to do that 3 times. So if I do it at a slower tempo. Then to finish it off, you're going to drop your little finger down to the 10th fret on the D. And then to the 7th fret on the D. So at a slow tempo again, all of it. The following verses and choruses are exactly the same as the ones that we have just learnt. Before the guitar solo, you will hear a slight change from the chorus. This is when he is kind of yelling when he's singing, but we're on the 5th fret low E power chord, you just hit it once. And then you move down to your 7th fret power chord and you play it once. Okay, so I'm going to horribly attempt to do his vocals, but it's like, and then it heads into the solo. So I'm going to only do that once because I was terrible at it. So let's take a look at the solo. We're going to be using lots of octaves at the beginning. So we're going to place our first finger on the 10th fret of the A, and we're going to make our octave on the 12th fret of the G. We're going to hit it once. And then we're going to move that down to the 7th fret and the 9th fret. Going to go back to 10 and 12. Okay, so far we've got. And then we're going to move up to 12 and 14. Back to 10 and 12. Back to 7 and 9. And then finishing off at 10 and 12. Okay, so if I do it slowly and also guide you through it, so 10 and 12, 7 and 9, 10 and 12, 12 and 14, 10 and 12, 7 and 9, and 10 and 12. And then there will be a gap, and then we'll play some more octaves, so we'll stay on 10 and 12, play it once, down to 7 and 9, back up to 10 and 12, up to 12 and 14, back down to 10 and 12. So this is exactly the same as the first time we played it, but on that time we went down to 7 and 9 and back to 10 to 12. This time we're going up to 15 and 17, 14 and 16, 11 and 13, and then 14 and 16. Okay, so the second time is 10 and 12, 7 and 9, 10 and 12, 12 and 14, 10 and 12, and this part where it changes, 15, 17, 14, 16, 11, 13, and then 14, 16. So the octave part of the solo sounds like this at a slower tempo. And then it leads into some single notes. So we're going to go to the 14th fret on the D. Pick it once, and then we're going to move it down with our third finger on the 12th fret of the D, pull off to 10, and then go back to 12. And then we're going to go to 10 with our second finger, pull off to 9, and then go to 10. Okay, so next batch of notes, we go down to the 10th fret G, 14th fret G, 13th fret G, 12th fret G, 13th fret B. And again, 10th fret G, 14th fret G, 13 B, 12 G, 13 B. And then we're going to go up to the 17th fret and we're going to tremolo pick. If you're not too sure about tremolo picking, it's basically where you just pick pretty quickly. If you're struggling with this, just pick the notes once. I estimate it's probably about 16 or 24 times you're tremolo picking, but listen to the guitar solo and you'll hear the notes change. It is the 17th fret on the B, 16th fret on the high E, 19th fret on the high E, and then 20th fret on the high E. Okay, so 17, 16, 19, 20. If you're tremolo picking, and then you just slide down, and then there is silence. After the silence, it will kick in with those 3rd fret low E power chords. Heads into the chorus exactly the same as what we've done before, and it will take you all the way to the end of the song. After those 3rd fret low E power chords, it then heads into the chorus. The parts in that chorus are just going to be exactly the same as what we have already learned. So that has been You're Gonna Go Far Kid by The Offspring. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, click the subscribe button and then click the bell. That way you'll be notified each week when I upload a guitar lesson.